Hey guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am, and you're not. How you doing? What's going on? Yeah, we're coming up on Friday. It is Friday. It's like Friday after 5 a.m. Where are you this part of the world? What are you eating, drinking? What are you thinking about? Guys, you having your coffee with me. Thank you for that. I have to tell you that, why am I in a good mood? I don't know, because I'm really confused, and let me tell you why. First of all, thank you. And please like, subscribe, and share. Dun, dun, dun. Guys, so seriously, my whole theory about Gypsy Rose is a little wonkadoodly now. And I'm going to tell you why. And you're going to be like, but Toddy, didn't she know? And I'm going to be like, listen, guys, I didn't know. Obviously, I didn't think about that because, as you see, I'm very focused on very specific little things. So my theory of the botched home invasion where Nick is supposed to be unalived and all of that. Okay, guys, let me put this into context. Let's go backwards. Okay, as a lot of you know, and like I believe, what I know, what I think I know, what I believe is that night was supposed to look like a home invasion and Nick was supposed to be unalived. And that's why Gypsy never got a ticket for her to leave and get out of Dodge, because she was supposed to leave and go with somebody else. But then that fell through. But then there's things that have come into the picture afterwards now that I'm thinking about, and I'm saying, is that messing up my little theory here? Or is it? Is there more questions than answers? Check it out, check it out, check it out. So that's the context, guys. That's the context. Just so you know. And for those living on Mars or Jupiter or Venus, I'm talking about the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case. You know, where Dee Dee Blanchard was murdered by her daughter, Gypsy Rose Blanchard. How many accents in that one, guys? That's what I'm talking about here, so listen up. How does my theory of the home invasion exist? If Gypsy put, dryer sheets and stuff under the mattress under Dee Dee, like, wasn't it under the mattress and stuff like that? So how would that have happened? And what would that wouldn't, coming upon on a crime scene, how do you explain that? I didn't know that was fact until it's written down. I guess it is actual fact that's the case. That they did, put the temperature down, and that, so it was no longer speculation as far as I guess I know, but because I didn't hear about it in the interrogation. So anyway, how would that look? It would no longer be that it was a home invasion, because who does that? But then it leads you to even a bigger question. Okay, so my home invasion thing, I think is true. I just think that before it happened, like before the home invasion scenario was going to happen, something didn't happen. And therefore everything changed. Now, it makes you wonder, there was a significant amount of blood on the bed, but there was in the hallway. So did it happen somewhere else? And then again, you also have to ask yourself, I'm watching the interrogation video with Nick, and the woman detective, she asks him, the investigator asks him, why did you choose that? And he said, I didn't choose it, Gypsy chose it. And he guesses it was because it would make her go quicker. But also in the interrogation, he learns how special Dee Dee was. He even says he felt so guilty, like he's the only one that feels guilty. Can I be honest with you? He is the only one that feels guilty here.
To do it herself, but she was too, what's the word, not cautious, it's, I guess skittish is the word I'm looking for.
Okay.
She didn't want to actually do it.
Okay.
Because she couldn't live with herself doing it.
Okay.
And, as for, me, I honestly, to this day, I still feel guilty about it.
Okay.
I do.
Right.
Because I learned so much about her mom after she told me and more about it after actually being able to live with her for a little while.
Right.
I actually realized how great of a mom she was.
Okay, so it kind of makes you feel a little guilty.
No. I feel a lot more guilt than that.
Okay.
He feels guilty because of all of the things, accomplishments that Dee Dee had achieved. Now he says the accomplishments, he got that information from Gypsy, and it had to be the 5 days after, during those 5 days after. Why would Gypsy be telling him wonderful things about her mom after? Seriously, like, I'm asking, I know my eyes go, what? But I'm serious, like, that makes no sense, right? Another thing, why did Gypsy all of a sudden want her mom to be found when she took time to preserve the body as best she could so that it wouldn't be found? What happened on the 5th or 6th day? Because if it was the 9th, it would have been the 6th day. What happened that made her say, shit, man, let him find the body? Because was it because it wasn't working out and she wasn't going to be like this, and she thought that, man, I could just throw Nick under the bus? That's why I sent the weapon here, and I could just lie and say that. And she never counted on Nick to tell the truth. Never counted on Nick to tell the truth. And when you watch the interrogation with Nick and the detective, she lies to him and uses the word to, like, honor Gypsy. You know, like, you wouldn't want to do anything to dishonor her.
I did actually stab her mom. I will admit it.
I know. Okay.
The only reason I did it is because I did it for me and her. That's the real reason I did it. I would have never did it if it was not for me and her.
Okay. So you wouldn't have done it if somebody else would have asked?
No.
Okay.
There's no way I would have did it for anyone else.
Okay, so you just
I
did it.
truly do worship her to the point there's nothing I want to do for her.
Okay. Well, I think you've proved that.
And he says that, you know, just he's so devoted to her that it's silly because of what happened and everything. But I guarantee you she never expected for Nick to be believed. So it makes me question about how they get all those messages. Did she just expect Nick to say nothing and do nothing? But I know it just makes me question it more. It's kind of like she did, what made her decide that it was time for Dee Dee's body to be found? Why did she preserve a scene? Was it to go back? Because if you've been a toddy, it was to go back and get the money. So when I think it was supposed to be the botched home invasion, but when that fell through because the person she was going to leave with, whether they were involved in that or not, and I think it was on the 9th, that she ended up where she had to leave and she had to be with Nick, but she just needed to bide some time to figure out what she was going to do. So maybe she set up the house in hopes that she was going to go back. What do you guys think? I mean, I'm asking, like, I've been watching the trial again of Nick's and looking at the interrogation and listening to the wording and such, and we've listened to the interrogation together before on the channel live. Do you guys think that you want to listen to the trial? Did you want to, like, go over the trial in parts? Because I think that they're in, like, they're highlighted parts, more or less. I don't know. I could do them without, but I don't know if a live is something you want to do. But, guys, to me, it's just like, to me, why she got rid of her mom was her mom sick, and Gypsy just couldn't take care of her. Was it as simple as that? Her mom was sick. That's not a question. And was it that Gypsy wanted to leave with Dan and her mom? So her mom wouldn't want her to be with Dan, but she really couldn't stop her, and Gypsy knew that. Was it about money? Why? Why did she have to unalive her mom? Because remember, she didn't have the Munchausen by proxy story. So why did she have to unalive her mom? What could her mom have done to her? She was of age, and Gypsy knew she was of age, that she could just go. That's the thing. Why did she do it? I'm convinced that Why was it so brutal? I still am stuck on the home invasion thing, the botched home invasion thing. But why? Was it as simple as wanting to be with an older man? What would she have done? She couldn't be sued for it. She couldn't have been in trouble for it unless there was something Dee Dee had on somebody. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Why? Why did it have to happen? Now I want to know why. You know, that's why I want to know. I want to know why. Anyway, guys, again, remember, the Munchausen by proxy was never thought of. Any kind of ABUSE was never spoken of. It was never spoken of. Guys, what do you think? Do you think Dee Dee might have had something on Dan that could have gotten Dan into trouble? Well, I'm not going down that rabbit hole, man. Somebody else out there want to do that, that's cool, but I'm going down that one. Anyway, guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. Be better today than you were yesterday, not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. Tell me what you think in the comments. Personally, I think that Gypsy just wanted to, I don't know. I don't think she wanted to take care of her mom. I think she was that selfish that she just didn't want to take care of her mom. Be better today than you were yesterday, not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Please like, subscribe, and share.